Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to another video. It's been over a week since I've been recording some video stuff, so I thought I should record a vlog. And I have a good topic, which is some books. I have a few books that arrived at my place. Some of them that I purchased when Book Depository was announced to shut down. They finally arrived. I have another book that was also sent to me as an offer, which is this one. I'll talk a little bit about it as well. But the book that I first wanted to talk about in the beginning of the video, it's actually a book that I just finished reading, and it's this one called Uma Vida Inteira by Robert Seethaler. It's translated into Portuguese. The original title is in German, and it's called Ein ganzes Leben. Story of a man who lives in the mountains in the beginning of the 1900s. And I had a difficult upbringing, and this tells the story of his life pretty much from his perspective. Very well written, well paced. I usually don't like these kind of books because I get bored with all the descriptions and things like that, but this was pretty well paced, decently introspective. It makes you reflect on the purpose of life, the meaning of life, the hard work, the relationships with other people, the isolation. I like the story itself. I think it was well written. Has a good perspective. It's interesting to read about how technology was evolving on those remote places in the mountains, how life evolved from being small village focused around farming to a village focused around tourism and mountain tourism and skiing tourism in particular. Also talks about the war, other worldly events. It's pretty well written. I mean, focuses on the story of the person. The person is no one in particular, but it takes a slice of that culture, and I think represents it very well. And it reminded me a lot of small villages where I used to go on holidays, from villages that are connected to my grandparents and my parents, and we used to go there on holidays, and most of the people were still working the fields and still starting to absorb technology like cars and TV and things like that, and this book talks about that as well. So it created a lot of parallels for me, which was interesting to think about and reminisce about. And it's also a very interesting reminiscing part in the end of the place where he belongs. Like, he was looking, like he just realized that he hasn't gone anywhere. He tries to go somewhere, but then he starts panicking because he doesn't know where to go. Everything that he knew was in that village. So you kind of need someone to take you along adventures. Like, it's not very interesting to go alone. And there are some other interesting parallels as well with that whole introspective part of the book, like reflecting on what you did with your life, if you have done enough, you have not done enough. Like, you just suddenly you realize that you're an old person and you've seen a lot of these things and you lived a lot of these things, but how does it actually affect the universe? How did it affect the world? Did it really, amount to anything worthwhile? Was all the struggles that you went through really worth the bother and the hassle and then the suffering? And this reflects a lot about that as well, mostly towards the end, and set in this very idyllic scenario. Well, idyllic to visit, but not idyllic to live in because of the whole climate difficulty. It's very cold during the winters and stuff like that. Very well written book. I do recommend it. Quick read. I read it in a couple of sessions, so really cool. Other books that I wanted to talk about, this one, William Gibson's Pattern Recognition Trill, sent to me by Mentratonic. Thank you so much. I do love William Gibson and the whole cyberpunk stuff, and this is part of the new series, Blue Ant, I believe. Well, not new, as it has already quite a few years, but I haven't read it yet. So this is the first book of the series. I'm going to pick it up soon. As soon as I'm done with the other stuff on my queue, which is mostly finish the damn Lovecraft thing. I'm like 4 or 5 stories out of finishing it, but they are very long stories, so I haven't really picked it up again. I want to finish the Lovecraft thing, and I wanted to read the Earthsea thing. What's it called? Earthsea, World of Earthsea? Earthsea and something? Earthsea Cycle. I have a compendium of the Earthsea things by Ursula K. Le Guin, and I read other stuff from Ursula K. Le Guin before in the past, like short stories. And I did like her way of storytelling, so I was very interested on picking up the Earthsea trilogy. I guess it's a trilogy, but it has some other small stuff. Anyways, I got a fat volume, and I've been meaning to get into it, and that is my should read next after I'm done with the Lovecraft thing. But once I'm done with the Lovecraft thing and Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea, I do intend to pick up this one in particular, William Gibson's Pattern Recognition, and go through that series as well. Meanwhile, there were some other books that arrived through Book Depository, which I ordered when I read about Book Depository being about to shut down because Amazon apparently is not making enough profit out of it. And I went through the list and checked what stuff was on sale, and I had quite a few wish list stuff pending from Goodreads that I thought this would be a good opportunity to get. One of them was the Dan Simmons Hyperion Omnibus. I know there is a follow-up to this one. This is the first trilogy, and then there's another trilogy. I heard very good things about this, mostly from Portuguese booktubers of sci-fi things. And I'm very curious, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. So this one arrived already, which is cool. What else? I have 2 more that arrived. I ordered like 6 of them, so there should be more stuff coming up on the following days. But I can show these at least. And I have no clue what they are, so it's an unboxing video as well. The next one is Cosmos by Carl Sagan. It's a classic that I had read a lot about it, and I just want to read it because it's a classic pretty much. Very highly rated, and I'm very curious what a scientist writes regarding space that everyone is so riled up about. So yeah, if it's just, scientific, I don't mind learning more about space and the cosmos in itself, but I'm curious if there's I'm curious what it's about. I'm curious what that book is about. I know that it's about the cosmos, but I'm curious what is inside it, and for the book to be such a classic and rated so highly from so many people, I think it will be interesting to discover. If it's not, it's a good piece because it's such a big reference. So it's a good piece to have on my library as well for, one day that I'm bored, I can pick this up. So yeah, this is the other book that I also ordered. And I have one more that also arrived today. I'm going to open it as well now. And the book is Speaker for the Dead, which is actually a second book from the series, so I should probably be receiving the first ones as well. The first one is Ender's Game, I think, and this is the second one. And this one is, I love the title because it's a moniker for a Demoscene person from Cosmoplovsy as well, and the moniker was chosen because it's referenced from the famous sci-fi works, and since I like sci-fi works, I've been, finding them. And when I saw this listed, people have told me about Ender's Game before, and I think I saw the movie about Ender's Game before, and I like other similar concepts in writings, so I decided to give this a try. So I also have the Ender's Game coming up, arriving soon, and I'll have to read Ender's Game first because I like to read the series in order. But yeah, curious about this one, and do have it available now for me to read when I'm finally in a more reading mood. I haven't been reading all that much this year and the past year. Moving houses doesn't help with that as well. The whole logistics and having the kid, also things change a lot. The dynamic of life changes a lot, which makes it a bit harder to find some time to just sit down and read. Usually when I end up finding some time these days, it's usually in the middle of the night and having to have the light on to read. It's not as good. But yeah, anyways, that's the video that I wanted to talk about. Just talking about the latest books that I've been reading and stuff that's been arriving here and stuff that I'm planning to read more. So as you can see, I'm very much into science fiction, and I do intend to keep up at it. But I do like to stray away from science fiction now and again as well, to read some random other stuff if I can find the time to do that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think on the comments below, if you already knew some of these books, if you do not, all that stuff. And yeah, see you next video. Bye bye everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Take care.